to start right away. And as customary, yes, thank you, Adebola. As custom of us, we will record the call so that any other person who's going to join, they can easily relive the moment and rewatch the recording on YouTube. So thank you so much for so as a means of brief introduction. I'd like us to I'd like to know where we're joining from for a good reason. I know where I'm joining from. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. So I'd like us to tell us where we're joining from so we have a good feel of the room, and then we'll get started. All right. You can leave it in the chat room. You can leave where you're joining from in the chat room. So, for example, my name is Tayo, and I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Agnes, how are you? Good evening. All right, Agnes is from Zambia. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining, Agnes. I know a couple of people are joining from Lagos. And so because today is a lab session. By lab session, I mean a practical demo where Oladapo is going to walk us through. Well, Oladapo is going to walk us through some data sets. And if you're joining on your phone, or sorry, on your laptop rather, you can also, what's the word now? You can also practice along. But be rest assured that the recording will be made available to you. Also, the data set will be made available to you so you can practice. And if you get stuck along the way, you can always send an email or just leave a buzz on any of our social media platform, and somebody will be sure to attend to you and clear any blocker that you may have when practicing for you. So without taking another time, please, the co-host on the call, I would need your help as people are joining. Oladapo would also need your help as people are joining on the call. And if nobody has seen it, please just admit there, because some other people may be joining, and maybe they don't have the meeting invite. So please just admit them. All right, thank you so much. I'll be leaving the microphone to Oladapo right now, so that because I know Oladapo has a lot to share with us today, so that we can get to it and we can get the best of today's time. So please, Oladapo, you can take the floor. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Taya. Happy for that. And I hope you get home safe because you're still in transit, obviously. How are you guys doing
Yes,
today?
I'm doing
How are you guys
well.
doing
I'm doing
today?
well.
How's everybody
Thank you.
doing?
Well, I can speak for myself. I mean, guys, you can unmute your mic.
Feel
Ladapo
free to unmute your mic.
is a free spirit.
Thank you for that. And obviously, I could see that some people have been using the comment section, like Agnes saying that she's joining from Zambia. Debola saying
Yes.
she joined from Abuja. So please, others, if you also want to comment or unmute your mic, feel free to do that before we get into the main business of the day. So let's not be all work, work, work. Let's be casual and have a very relaxed atmosphere. Like you're watching from Lagos, Nigeria. Okay. Thanks everybody that has dropped their comments. And once again, thank you very much for joining. My name is Oladapo. I just call me Dapo, you know. And then I know a couple of us, if not all of us, seen the flyer around about this master class. And I would just like to have an idea of what you're expecting from this session today, because you obviously joined for a reason. So please let me just know and have a feel of why you joined. Today is Saturday. You could have been at home or doing something else outside. Chelsea's playing right now. There are tennis competition. There is Formula One in Dubai. Different activities. Owambe parties, but you chose to attend this masterclass. So just give us one or two reasons why you joined the class or this masterclass and what you're expecting to get from it. Maybe there'll be a gift for whoever goes first. Maybe, just maybe. Feel free to mute yourself or drop your comment, whichever way works fine for us. Or do you guys want me to start calling names? Nobody's saying anything. Or are you guys typing? If nobody says anything, we'll not start to. So, let's make that as interactive as possible. Still waiting.
Hi, Dapo. Good evening.
Ah, finally. I Adibola.
All right. So basically, data is like the main thing now, and when you talk about, or from my understanding of interactive dashboards, is the way you are interpreting the data you have, or of making people uh, have a better understanding of the data that you have. So in as much as you just keep throwing figures at people, it could get confusing. But if you put it in a way that it's more catchy and say in terms of graphs, in terms of diagrams and all, they have a better
Visualizations. Mhm.
visualizations. Yes, so that will give them a better understanding and they can easily relate to whatever you are presenting. So that's why I'm here today to learn and learn how to best put my data or whatever data sets I have to present it better, so for understanding of the people I'm engaging.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you very much. Learning better about visualization, how to present your data sets in a way that people understand better. Thank you very much. Oluwashun, your hand is raised.
Okay. Thank you, Selectives, for this, and thank you, trainer. Something I would say is data. The point that data is everywhere, right? So you
Data is
can't just
oil.
sit down. Yeah, you can't just sit down believing you've known everything. There's always something new to learn, right? Currently on this call, I'm working on a data set. Now the issue I'm currently having is that my visual is on like 2 pages, and I
Wow.
get people say it's better you have your visuals on a page. So
Mhm.
yeah, so like I just want to know the best practices for this. Is it a must? My visual must be on a single page, 2 pages or three. If they're on multiple pages, how would I um get to engage my
Audience.
audience?
Mhm.
Yet, so all of this brought me here. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this session.
Interesting. Just like you said, I think it's best that you have all your data, all your visuals on one page so that the attention span of people are low these days. You want to quickly present your results and you want them to get it in no time such that they understand what you're presenting. You don't want to keep flipping across multiple pages before you present your result and that might kind of distract them. So it's just best you have everything on one page. So yeah, about to learn. And of course, talking about learning, once again, thank you guys for your comments. Let us get straight into the business of today. And when it comes to data analytics, of course, we all know that Excel is a very major tool that you need to know when it comes to data analytics. Please let me know when you can see my screen. I'm currently presenting an Excel sheet on my laptop.
I can see your screen.
Okay, what I'll do is let me also join on my phone so that I can be able to, instead of me flipping through Excel and Google Doc, Google Meet. Just give me 1 minute so that I can be able to see the comment at the same time as well as present my screen. Just give me 1 minute. So just like I was saying, Excel is one tool that everybody needs to know as a data analyst because it's pretty much the start of your journey. And definitely we can't go through everything Excel today, but of course we'll try to give a sneak peek of what Excel can do for you as a data analyst. And with more training, with more classes, you'll be able to learn Excel more. So, okay, so I have my phone connected now and I can share my screen from my laptop and we can get started. Okay, so I'm back to sharing my screen now. Please let me know if you can see an Excel screen on your phone or laptop or whatever device you are joining from.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, sounds good. So when it comes to Excel, there are so many things that you can do. And So many things, unlimited, like I can even say unlimited, because Excel is a beautiful tool that can do a whole lot of things. And part of what Excel can do for you is to analyze your data and also present it in a visual form to make it interactive for your audience to be able to get an understanding of what you're trying to present at a glance. And because it's in a visual form, you can also make it dynamic such that it updates as new information comes in. As new data comes in, your visual updates by themselves. So this is pretty much a raw data that we have right now. Of course, I'm going to walk us through what we have. I'll talk about the solutions, the problem we want to solve. And together, we're going to solve all of these things, and then we see the end result such that we can see how we started and, of course, how it's going to end. So one that I exact on for us is dashboard. And the concept of dashboard is you being able to put your data into different visuals and connect them together to make them interactive. So for the data set that we have today, it's about a brewery company. We are a brewery company. So let's call us, today is what? This is November. So let's call our company November Masterclass Limited. Okay, all right. November Masterclass Limited as our company, and then we're into production of drinks. We're a brewery company, and we produce drinks. So for the past 3 years, from 2017 to 2019, we've produced a whole lot of drinks, and then we have distributors across West Africa. So every month they come to us, they buy quantity different kinds of drinks from us, and then we take record, obviously. So what do we have here? The first column we have here is the year. Like I said, we have data set for 3 years. You can see 2017, 2018, 2019. And this is the month, each month, the transaction that we performed each month. You can also see the brand of the drink that we are selling, or better still, that we sold over the past 3 years. And then you can see the distributor. Those are our major distributor that came to, purchase our products. And then you can see the quantity that they purchased at each time. So possibly we can say, crates. So the number of crates they bought at a particular point in time. Our own cost price, the cost we incur in producing and selling those particular crates, those drinks. And finally, we have the sales price, how much we sold the product to them. And one important thing that you need to know as a data analyst is before you start jumping into writing your formulas, into designing your charts, you need to understand your data sets. Understand what each column means, because it is when you understand what each column means that you will be able to interpret that particular data set accurately and then know how to be able to present, how to be able to analyze to present your results. So that was why I had to pretty much walk us through what each column means. And because we have, a board meeting coming up, and then we have been tasked with providing some solutions to some questions. So we have about 4 questions that we are going to solve today. And I will just write them down so that all of us can see everything from the start to finish. So the first thing is we want to be able to know the quantity sold to each distributor. So that'll be our first one, because we have so many quantities that we sold to each distributor, right? Different companies that we sold to. So over the course of the 3 years, how many quantities did we sell to each of these distributors? Another thing is we also want to know what is our profits across the countries. Like I said, we sell to different distributors across West Africa. The next thing is we also want to know our cost and sales price across the year. Of course, you know that we have 3 years, 2017, 2018, 2019. I want to see the relationship between how much it cost us to produce, to sell those drinks to different distributors, and how much we sold those drinks to all those distributors. See the relationship to see whether we actually made profit or loss. And the fourth one would be, let's talk about the most consumed brand. Which brand did we sell the most that people keep on coming? Our distributor keep on coming to say, okay, give us more of this particular brand. So just to keep it short and simple, we'll go through all these 4 questions today. Okay, again, trying to understand what we have. The first question talks about quantity sold to each distributor. Interestingly, we have our distributor here, so this is fine. We have the information that we need. We also have the quantity, so this is perfect. The second question is, what is the profit across country? So, guys, do we have our country in our information? And do we also have the profits? Again, like I said at the beginning of the class, I would love this to be interactive as possible. So please, so that's why I had to join on my phone so that I can be reading your comments. Feel free to drop your comments or feel free to unmute yourself. So we are being told to get the profit across the countries, but the question is, do we even have our countries in these data sets?
No.
Okay. Any other person? Feel free to check through the data set very well to see if we have our
Yes, we
country
have.
here or not.
Yeah, we do.
We have,
Nigeria,
sir.
Senegal, Togo,
So
Ghana,
where are the countries? Because I'm not sure I can see
Under
them.
distributor.
under distributor. Yeah.
Okay. So guys, you can see under distributor, we have our country in front of the distributor names. And we actually want the countries to be separate because we want to calculate the countries. We want to be able to get the information about the country, but you can see they are currently merged with the distributors. So for example, this is a company, Beach and Bottle Enterprises in Ghana. We have Group Limited in Nigeria, Beach and Bottle Enterprises again in Togo. It's very fine that we have distributor that has offices in different countries across West Africa. So this is a branch in Ghana. This company also has a branch in Togo. So the task now is we need to extract our country. And for us to do that, let us insert a column here. To insert a column in Excel, just right click on the column here, right click, and you'll see insert. Okay. So what we'll tell Excel pretty much to do for us is Excel split this particular information here, this data here into two. And guys, again, what can you see that, distinct the company's name and the country? If you look at this distributor column
And
here,
I think
an hyphen, thank you. And why do we have this? Honestly, like in real world, you will not always have your data set come out perfectly clean. So lots of the time, you will spend a lot of time as a data analyst cleaning up your data sets. So of course, we did not get a perfect data set from our maybe technical team or data or our like ERP guys. They put this data for us in a way that everything is messed up, but as data analyst, it's part of our job to clean up all of this. So we have this hyphen, or maybe you can call it dash, separating the company and the country. So what we're going to do is, let me insert one more column. We're going to tell Excel to split this information here into two based on this hyphen, the dash. So you can see it's common to all of them. So there are so many ways that you can split and extract data in Excel, but for today's class, we'll use a function called text split. Disclaimer, maybe not all of us would have this particular function on our Excel because of the version that we're using. So this is Office 365. Depending on the version that you're using, you might not be able to use text split, but there is text to column, there is extract, there is left, right that you can use to do some extraction. But again, like I said, we will not be able to touch everything here, but in class, we'll be able to dive into different ways in which you can extract your data sets. Okay, so we're going to tell Excel to help us split this text together using text split function. The first argument is the text. The text we want to split. So this is the text here, comma, what is the delimiter in a column? This is the column information here. And we all agreed it is the hyphen that is separating the distributor name and the country. So we tell Excel hyphen, and because hyphen is a symbol, a sign, we put that in inverted comma, because this is a function. So Excel recognizes zeros and one numbers, but this is not a number. So we have to disguise it and put that in inverted comma. And pretty much others are not necessary because we've already told Excel this is our text and this is what is separating the text hyphen. So you can just ignore that arguments and click enter. So guys, what do we have? We have Excel separating this data here into two for us because we told Excel, go into this data set, split the text for me into two. Anywhere you see hyphen, split the text for me. So yeah, we have beach and bottle here, And what do we have after the hyphen? The country Ghana. So what we need to do now is let's just fill and do for the rest of the information. So you have to use fill and do here. Fill and do is, let me control Z. So in Excel, for you to copy down your formula using relative referencing, you can always highlight and then click on this tail end of your cell and drag down, or just double click. So what has pretty much happened for us is Excel has split, the distributor into two, the distributor itself and the country. So now we are fine. And because if you look at this, you can still see that the formula is showing here, but we don't need the formula again. We are done with the formula. What you can do is to remove the formula and still keep the text. For you to do this, highlight where you have your formula, copy it, Control C, and then paste back using Control Alt V. So you see this paste special, paste only values because we don't need the formulas again. So just paste values. Okay. And what's it called? The formulas are gone, and then we are good. So this is distributor and this is country. We can just delete this one, that add the two of them merged together. So I can right click and click delete. So guys, we have our distributor now separate and our country is separate before we add them merged together. Back to the question is, what is the profit across the countries? Now we have the countries, right? The question is, do we have our profits here?
No.
Okay, another task for us. And the question is, how do we get our profits? So we pretty much have the cost that it's, we incurred to produce, to sell those drinks. And then we also have the price we sold those drinks for. So how do you think we can get our profits?
Sales minus cost.
Or loss. All right, thank you very
Sales
much.
price multiplied by quantity.
Okay, now we have two people giving us two different things. The first person said, sorry, because again, can't be like flipping through, so I'm not sure of the people's name, but somebody said we do sales minus cost price, and somebody said we do sales price multiplied by quantity, right? So which one are we going with? Is it sales price minus cost price or sales price multiplied by quantity? So this is not about Excel. This is our like general business mathematics knowledge, trying to calculate the profits. Let me put profits. Anybody wants to give some clarification?
It says price minus cost price to get profit, sir.
Okay, so I'm going with that, everybody. Or do you want to like give more clarification as to why that is the way to calculate our profits? Okay, guys, I think from our business studies, our commerce, our economics knowledge from back then, we typically know that for you have a business, there is a cost to incur to put that business into place. There is a cost to incur to sell something, and for you to make profit, you need to add a bit of margin on the cost you use to produce that thing. So, take for example, you produce a phone. So the cost of producing your phone is 10 naira. You won't sell that same phone for 10 naira because you want to make some profits. So you want to maybe sell it for 15 naira or 14 naira. And if you're able to sell it for 15 naira, you produced it for 10, you sold it for 15. There is a difference of 5, and that is sales minus cost price. 5 becomes your profit. So thank you to the person that said sales minus cost price. So, and to do that, you just subtract, right? In Excel, for you to do any formula or function, just type equals to, put the reference the figure, which is this is price, minus, just type minus on your laptop, and then cost price. Enter. And just like we did fill and do to drag it down, fill and do as well. So obviously, if you see minus, that's because we made a loss, right? If we said sales price minus cost price, so for example, in this case, our data set is, our numbers are also not looking so good. So we need to do a bit of formatting here. So to format your data set, just highlight these numbers because we want these numbers to be more readable. I'm not sure whether this is 145,000 or 1.45 million. So let's just put the comma separator to separate thousands from each other. And okay, so this is more readable now. So in this case, we produced and we sold these goods for 843,000. Or we produced these goods for 843,000, but we sold them for 674. Obviously, we made a loss here, but it's fine. It could be due to different reasons, which we might want to talk about later, and of course, discuss with your sales department. So now we have the profit. That is also good. The next question is cost and sales price across the year. We have our cost price, we have our sales price, we have the year. This is good as well. And the last one is the most consumed brand. So we have the brands here, and then we have how many quantities they purchase. So I think we have everything that we need to solve our question, right? I think one more thing that I would want us to do is to just clean up our data sets one more time. And if we look at all of these brands, the text are starting with small letter, right? Lowercase. Let's make them more readable. Start with proper capital letters, just like these other ones. For us to do that, let's create a new column where we'll bring in the proper brand name. One formula that we can use in Excel is to do that is called proper. And what I will change is it is going to format our text in a way that the first letter is a capital letter and the rest of the letters are small letters, lowercase. So proper and our text. So we just told Excel properly format this text here. And now you can see the trophy has moved from small letter T at the beginning to capital letter T. Fill and do. Let's copy and paste values alone, and we are good. So, okay, guys, I think everything is looking good now, and we can go ahead to solve our question. So let's call this one. Let's rename this sheet our data set. And for us to be able to solve all of this question, we're going to use pivot table. Pivot table is a concept in Excel that helps us to summarize our data sets very well. So if you look at everything that we have here, we have about 1,047 rows data sets. That's a lot. So, basic formulas would help, but they might not be able to give us what we want in a dynamic format. So we'll tell Excel we'll use pivot table in Excel. But before we use pivot table in Excel, because we want to make our data set to be dynamic such that when we bring in new information, our dashboard, which is the end result, updates automatically. So the first thing is, let us convert this data set into a table. From table, we convert into pivot table. From pivot table, we're going to bring out some pivot charts. From pivot charts, we're going to combine them together into a dashboard and use slicers to make them interactive. So the first thing is, let us convert this data set into a table. Why table is better is just because when we bring in new data sets, the table updates by itself. When we use table, it's easy to summarize our data set as well and also reference them. So for us to convert this into a table, come to insert, and then you will see table here. So just click on it. And then make sure that your cursor is on one of the cells here. And Excel is telling you, create a table, right? So from A1, the first cell, to L1408, this is column L, but our data set actually ends at I. So we'll tell Excel, instead of going up until L, where we don't have any information, just stop at I. So I'll just take away the L and tell Excel I. Okay. All right, so let's do this again. So we actually have headers already, but Excel created new headers for us by all of this column 1, 2, 3. So let me just Control Z and tell Excel, don't worry, we already have headers. So this is where we should have clicked. My table has headers. So click it and okay. So now, instead of all those column 1, 2, 3 that Excel gave us before, our initial headers have now become our proper headers. Okay, guys, so this is looking better compared to how we started, right? Now let's start solving the question. The first thing is quantity sold to each distributor. And for us to do that, we need to summarize all the distributors and then count how many quantities, or add all the quantities that we sold to them rather. So we sold a lot of quantities to them. For example, Beach and Bottle Enterprise, January 2019, for Trophy, we sold 464 quantities to them. in March 2018, we sold for. So we want to know how many quantities we sold to each distributor over these 3 years, irrespective of the brand. So again, coming to inserts, then click on pivot table, and then from table arrange. So this is our table here that Excel is referencing. By the way, you can see this is called table 2. If you want to be sure, immediately we created a new table, this new tab came up, table design, and the name is table 2. You can always rename your table if you want. So let's just call this one maybe production table or sales table. Let's just call it production table. And then going back to our pivot table, you can see now the name of the table is coming up. Instead of table 2, that was the default name, we have production table coming up. So that is where we want to, create a pivot table from. Excel is also asking us, choose where you want the pivot table to be placed. Of course, we want a new worksheet, not on the same worksheet. So, okay. And now we have a new worksheet. Let me drag it here, called sheet 1. And over here, we're going to solve the question, which is, let me just copy it, quantity sold to each distributor. So with pivot table, it has been able to summarize all our data sets based on each of the, excuse me, based on each of the column that we have. So if you look at our column here, we have the year, months, brand, distributor, country, all of them. And you can see Excel has listed them here. So we have the pivot table fields, and then we have the areas. So it is based on whatever you drag to these areas that will determine how your pivot table is going to look like. So guys, if you want to get the quantity sold to each distributor, what are the things that we've talked about this already, but what are the things that you think we're going to need? Which of these columns do you think we will need to solve this problem? Anybody?
I think we'll need the distributor name and the
Thank you.
quantity.
Oh, thank you. So distributor, and so for us to be able to arrange your data set, you have this row and column, a row and column. And then we all know, or maybe for those of us that are pretty much new to Excel, these are called columns. All of these A, B, C, D, all of these are called columns. So if you decide to arrange your data in a column form, they will be on each column like this, like this, like this. And if the other aspect is row, rows are from 1, 2, 3 down like that. And then if you decide to arrange your data set in row, they will be highlighted in row format like this, from one row to the other, and column is from one. So I think, so column is horizontal. Did I get that? No, column is vertical, and then row is horizontal. I always get that thing mixed up sometimes, vertical, horizontal. So yeah, our distributor name, we want them to be in row, list them row-wise, so you can see them coming here. The first distributor, the second one, the third one, and the quantity. So the quantity, because we want to summarize the quantity, we will need to bring the quantity to value, because under values, you can see the summation sign. With values, you can be able to perform some, what's it called, arithmetic. So our quantity, we bring that here. And there are different arithmetic that we can do. We can do sum, we can do count, and different other things. But in this case, we want to sum all the quantities that we sold to each distributor. And Excel has perfectly helped us to do that using sum. So you can see now, to Beach and Bottle Enterprises, we sold, okay, again, this is not looking well formatted. So let's just highlight and then click on number formats. Just tell Excel, use comma separator, and we don't want any decimal. And this is good. All right, so we have row level. Let us rename this one to be distributors. So we sold 65,876 crates to Beach and Bottle Enterprise. We sold 196,000 crates to Grip Limited. We sold 122,000 to Clipart and 124,000 to TechSmooth. So these are the quantities that we sold to each of the distributor across the 3 years. We can rearrange this one to show the number one person in terms of who purchased the highest quantity from us up until the lowest. And it's just sorting, rearranging in a descending order from the top to the lowest. So right click where you have your numbers and come to sort. And Excel, you see sort largest to smallest. So now you can see that. And let's put this in a visual because that is the end result. Instead of we putting all of these numbers together, just like somebody said at the beginning, instead of just flashing numbers on people's faces, put that in a simple design, visuals, and it will be easier for them to read. So let us so we have four distributors and we have how many quantities each of them purchased from us. So let us come here to pivot table analyze, and then we can see, or yeah, analyze where we have pivot charts, and then we have different charts that we can use to analyze our data set. Again, all of these charts have different reasons why you're going to use them. In class, we're going to talk more extensively about the use of each of the charts. So for this, let us use a pie chart which summarize what each distributor, what they purchase from us in terms of the quantity. So each of the pie would represent the numbers of drinks they purchase from us. So we have the distributors here by all of these images, by all of these colors rather. We have the title. So let us give this a title. Call this one quantity distributor. Let us format our chart, bring in the data labels. We can make this white. And then we can hide our field axis. Again, when it comes to your chart, you want to make sure that you're not giving too much information, just straight to the point, something basic. And of course, you need to also be careful of the color scheme because formatting is a big thing when it comes to visuals. So let's just go with the colors Excel has given us. At your own time, you can always change all of these colors to match the theme of your company. So how to do that is just to highlight each of these pie, right click, and you have different colors you can choose from. And as you can see, as I'm hovering around, the colors are changing. But again, let's just stick to the basic colors Excel has given us, and this is fine. So with this, we can easily see what each company is, bought from us. Blue is for Grip Limited. Obviously, they bought more from us. It has the highest part of the charts in terms of the slice. One thing that you also want to know with pivots, with pie chart, is you want to be able to arrange your slices from the first one, clockwise. Okay, so I think this is better now. So now this is the biggest one to the next biggest to the next biggest, and of course, the last one. Okay, so quick one. This is the solution to the first question. And then let's go this one, question one. Moving on to second question. Again, we're still going to use pivot table. And then the question is, what is the profit across the country? So again, creating a pivot table. For those that just joined, in case you did not see how we created a new pivot table, come to insert and click on pivot table, and boom. Question two. Let's drag it here. And question is, let me copy the question again. Profit across the countries. Again, guys, for us to get a profit across the countries, which of these columns do we need to be able to get the profits across the countries? So again, like I said, we have about 5 countries that we distribute to in West Africa. So I want to know which of these countries, we are getting more profit from over these years. Anybody?
Profit and country.
All right, thank you. So profit and country. And there you go. So again, let's rename this rule to the countries. And we have our sum of profit. Again, do your formatting. You can always come here as well from this number tab here, this number group, and then put your comma separator, and it helps you to format it properly. So we have our country here, and we want to know Benin Republic is giving us 19.3 million. Ghana is also very close, 19.35 million. Then we have Nigeria, 20 million. Senegal, 19.8, and of course Togo, 18.6. Again, we can always represent this in the chart. Let us use a column chart for this, and this is just perfect. So do your little formatting, give this a title as well. Of course, your chart needs to have a title, you know, profits by country. Of course, like when you get the data set and you are watching this video again, practicing on your own, feel free to be able to give it some more befitting title, I guess, and then do some formatting. We can take away this grid line, bring in our data label, right click, add data label, and then we can delete this axis here since we have our data label showing already. Hide our field buttons. Now we have just one color depicting the profits by each of the countries, so we don't need this legend here. And you know, again, this is not looking too good because we are seeing Benin coming first. Meanwhile, it's actually like Nigeria that we got the highest profit from. So what we need to just do is just rearrange, sort from highest to lowest. And of course, everything has been rearranged. Nigeria is coming first. Senegal, Ghana, Benin Republic, and Togo. You can choose to change the color here, the design if you want some other color, maybe this, or we can just right click and fill, and yellow, green. Let's use this green. At your own leisure, please feel free to use whatever color you are comfortable with. And again, question two solved. For our next two questions, let's not create a new pivot table from the scratch. We can just copy this. You can copy this sheet. How to copy it? Just click on your control and drag this sheet. So now we have question three. We delete this, come to your pivot table. And yeah, take away the country, take away the profits. And we have a fresh pivot table. We can just refresh to make sure that everything has been cleared off. The third question is cost and sales price across the years. Right, so for us to be able to do our cost and sales price across the year, I think by now all of us know already, we need our year. So nope, not see what happened, right? So when I clicked on a year, Excel thought because years has numbers, Excel just took that to the summation, the value area. But instead, we want it to be, we want to list our years. So in rows, so I had to drag it from values to rows. Again, how that happened was because I just clicked on year. You can choose to drag and then place it anywhere you prefer on these areas, whether filters, column, rows. So row, we need our costs, costs as values, and of course profit as well. Sales values as well. So what has happened is we took our columns to rows. So Excel listed, sorry, we took our years because we copied this pivot table from here, which has country. That's why you're still saying country. So let us just rename this one to be years. So this is fine now. Our years, this is some of the cost price we incurred in 2017. And this is what we, generated in terms of sales. 2018, 86 million. And then we sold our product for about 1.121 million. In 2019, 72 million. And then we sold them for 100 million. But how would we have gotten, look at how all of this is scattered across distributor, across brand, across months, across years, but with the help of pivot table, it's been summarized into all of these bits. So let's put this into a chart as well. And for us to do this, we're going to use a line chart, which shows pretty much trends across a period of time. So pivot chart. If you click on each of these types of charts, you can see a preview of what is going to, present to us in terms of the chart. So you can see if we use column charts, something like this will come up. If we use line charts, something like this will come up. Pie charts, something like this. But for this case, let us use a line chart. And then with the line chart, we can see, let's hide all of these. You can see what our sales looks like and our cost over the years from 2017 to 2018 to 2019. So obviously, like we had, so this color here, this orange color stands for the sales price, and this blue stands for the cost price. Obviously, we need this legend here, so we're not going to delete the legend or hide it. So with this, you can see the relationship between our sales price and our cost price across the year. Again, a bit of formatting. We can hide the field axis. We need our title, so chart title, and call this one our cost and sales price across the years. We can delete these grid lines and also maybe add our data label and hide this. So we have something like this. But one thing that we might probably want to do is, if you look at our axis here, it's starting from the origin 0 to 20 million, 20 million. So we have a gap of 20 million, but we really don't have anything from 20 to 60. So we can actually tell Excel start from 80. So if you right click, okay, and right click, format axis, start from 60 million up until, okay, yeah, 130 just works fine. So now we have 60 million, we have more space, everything is showing properly compared to before. And then we have this. Again, there's more, if there's more time, you can always do more formatting, So let's just keep it simple like this. And the last question is, what is the most consumed brand? So again, guys, anybody wants to tell us how to, the information that we need. Let me also drag this again, create a new sheet. Come back. Let's call this one question 4. Let's delete this. So guys, in case you click on your pivot table here and you don't see the feed list coming, just come to pivot table, analyze, and click on feed list, and then they're going to pop up. Let's refresh. And so the question is most consumed brand. For us to be able to know the brands that people like most, that people consume most, what do you think we are going to need? Which information here, which column?
Brand and quantity.
All right, thank you. So brand, again, let's arrange them in columns, and of course, quantity. So you can see country here, let's rename, and that's because we just copied the same pivot chart instead of creating from the scratch. So this is brand and the quantity. So this is looking like, dollar and pence, naira and kobo. Let's rearrange this. So let's format this so that we take away the decimal. I mean, if you're counting quantity, there is no decimal, right? Because a quantity will be like a whole. So just highlight everything and come to the numbers group, tell Excel to decrease the quantity to 0. So now it's making more sense. So what this means is for Beta Malt, we sold 72,000 pieces of quantity. For Budweiser, we sold 73,000, Castle Light 69, Eagle Lager 73, Grand Malt 75, Euro 71, Trophy 72. Almost all of them are quite close. So I think people like everything that we produce. Let's put this in a chart as well. And we can use a column chart or maybe a bar chart for this. So let's use a bar chart. And let's hide this. Take away our total because we obviously know this is a total. Take away the grid line. So again, when it comes to formatting and all of this, it's just based on your own preference. So if you like the grid lines, you can choose not to delete them. That is absolutely fine. Brand was consumed brand across the years. Again, feel free to change the color of your charts if you prefer red or whatever theme your company is using. So for example, if your company's theme is like red, most of your logo is in like red color, you have to use something to align with your brand theme. So let's bring in our label as well. take away these axes, and of course, rearrange, sort from. Okay, so you can see we sort from highest to smallest, but the what's it called? The chart is going from smallest to largest. So let's tell Excel to reverse. So highlight and then right click, come to axis option and tell Excel to categorize in reverse order. So flip it. And of course, ground is coming first. So guys, we've been able to do about 4 questions, and we went from having that raw data set into getting our profit, into separating our distributor and countries separately, into making this brand look properly. And then we went on to, is that a chat? Okay. Yeah, I would definitely give them for question. I'm just trying to give a recap of what we've done so far before we move into the final part, which is the dashboard. We make our brand names to look properly, and then we went on to solve each of this question, and then also created a chart for each of them, each of them, each of them, and each of them. So the next phase and the final phase was going to be we creating dashboard. And for us to create a dashboard, it's nothing serious. It's pretty much the combination of all of these charts and using our sliders to make them interactive, such that when you filter on one chart, it affects the other chart as well. So let's create a new sheet and call this one dashboard. And when it comes to Excel, there is no one way to do a dashboard, because a lot of things is pretty much about your design skills, your formatting skills. So you might have the same graph, the same charts as somebody, or 2, 3 people might have the same charts, but by the time they put them in the dashboard, they will look different in terms of their look and feel. If you guys remember, pretty much like when we used to be in school, like our fine arts, our technical drawing, all of us will be given the same things to draw, right? But obviously, some people will score more than some others because of their own skills when it comes to art and design. So there is no one way to do this, but all you need to keep in mind is always keep it simple and short. Keep it simple, not too much color. Make sure the color combinations are going, they are aligning very well. And, you would have your chart. What we can do first, just to make this a bit simple and, easy to read, let's take away all of these grid lines. And for you to do that, just come to view, tell Excel to, take away the grid lines, just uncheck this grid line, and this is fine. We can bring in like a title, let's use a text box, bring in our shape. So this is your shape here. You have different shapes that you can always use, but for our title, we can just use a simple shape. Let's use this one with rounded corners instead of this rectangle. And at the beginning of the class, we call our company something. Anybody wants to remind us what we call our company? Guys, are we still in class? Are we still together?
November master class.
Thank you. I think we're about to reach the 1 hour mark now. So November master class. Again, this was just made up right now in class. So feel free to use your own name as your company. And let's highlight and make sure, align it, put it at the center, increase. Okay. You please feel free to use again different colors, whatever works for you. You can click on this shape that we brought in, and if you want a green color, you can use green. If you want a black, if you want a orange. So let's just use this. And your text, obviously, one thing that you need to know is whatever your background is. If your background is like thick color, your text needs to be bright, such that they complement each other. Imagine we're using maybe black here. Imagine like this black on blue and this white on blue. I think all of us will agree white on blue makes more sense. So let's make everything white. Okay. So this could be our title. So all we need to do is to bring each of these charts into the dashboard here, align them very well, do some 1 or 2 designs here and there. Of course, because we have limited time, we can't be able to go into the perfect alignment, but we'll try our best to still, do them very well. So all you need to do is cut Control X, cut each of the what's it called, charts, paste them here. Or you can always right click and click on cuts. Bring them here to the dashboard. Our next question is this one, cuts. Bring them here. The last one is this. And bring them in. Okay, so we have all our charts on one page now. So I think at the beginning, somebody was talking about, how you want your chart to be on one page. So something like this. All we need to do right now is just do some alignment. So let's arrange these two together. Bring this one here. Bring this here. Obviously, the line chart is taking more space, but that's fine. So instead, what we're going to do is let us increase our title page, our header here. And by the way, I hope it's been good so far. Like I said at the end, I'm going to take questions. So if you have any question, please feel free to write them down, and we're going to get to all of them at the end. We are gradually coming to the end. And then we're going to bring in our sliders here so that everything is almost on the same alignment. So you can always delete. So for example, if you look at each of these charts, we have like a line on all of them, like surrounding them. So you can choose to erase all of these lines. They are called the borders. So if you click on each chart, come to design, format, and then you are going to see shape outline. That like zero, no outline, no border. And you can see the line that was there before is gone. So you can do that. Or if you want it to be there, you can just leave it. So we can just choose to leave it for now. And for us to be able to make this interactive as possible, we need to be able to use what we call slicers. Slicers are like filters whereby if we click on something, our chart will update. So for example, let's say we want to use, so our slicers will pretty much be one of, or some of these columns here that we have. And so this is what we're going to do. We click on one of the charts, we come to pivot chart analyze, and then click on slicers. So we can use the year as slicer, we can use the brand, and we can use distributor, or let's say distributor, yeah. The three of them should be fine. Okay, so for example, if you click on here now, let's look at, because we created all of these slicers with these charts. If we look at everything now, for example, grip limited, which is blue, has quantity of 196,762, which is for the entire year. But now let's say we want to see for only 2017. If you click on 2017 alone, you can see it has updated to 69,000. If you want to only see for 2018, it has added the same thing. Okay, so this one is 69,060. 2018 was updated to 69,567. 2019, it has updated to 58. So you can see that with the help of our slicers, we have been able to filter for each of the year to know how many quantity we sold to each distributor. But we also want this slicer here to, change every other pivot chart that we have. And to do that, just right click on the slicer and create a connection. Click on report connection. And all of the pivot tables that we've created are here. So again, you might probably be seeing pivot table 2, 2, 2. The reason is because, we duplicated that pivot table across question 3 and 4. So that is why. You can always rename your pivot table as well. The same way we renamed our table. So all we need to do is to click everything highlights, meaning that we want this slicer to have connection with all these three pivot tables. And of course, the pivot, the end result of the pivot table were all of these pivot charts. These pivot charts were created from the pivot table. So it's as good as connect all of these charts together. So if you click on 2017 now, see what has happened. We've had all our charts updated. Let me zoom in. So we're only seeing for 2017, only 2017 data. If you click on 2018, all these charts are updating. 2019, all of them are updating. If you want to select more than one filter, more than 1 year at a go, click on this multi-select option here and click on 2 years. So now we have 2017 and 18, 2018 and 19. And of course, we have everything. Same thing with the remaining slicers. Let's just quickly report connections for everything. And also distributor. Report connection. Sorry about that. I think my throat is a bit blocked. But we're gradually coming to the end. I can also even do some formatting with your what's it called? With your slicer. So instead of using same color blue, we can choose to use green here. And we can even make this to be in 2 columns. So let's increase the columns to 2 and put that into a column. Put that here. Our distributor. Let's bring this one down here. Our distributor, let's give this a red. And now we are almost like putting everything, all of them into the same alignment. And now what is happening now is because we've reported connection for all of these slicers. If you are clicking them, everything continues to update by themselves. So let's undo and click everything back. And the more the more time that you have, the more you'll be able to do more formatting, do more alignment, and put all of them together in proper shape. So this one is overlapping. Let me drag it up a bit. Let's create more space here. Okay, so let's just stop at this place. We can, like I said, guys, when you are practicing on your own, and of course, when we get to class, we'll have more time to be able to do all of this, and then we'll spend more time designing, do the formatting. We can always bring in pictures into our charts. You can come here to insert pictures, whether you have them on your laptop or you can go online to bring in pictures. You can also make some beautiful connection between what's it called, all of these numbers. So for example, if you want all this profit to be showing here, maybe as a number, you can also do that as well. A lot of things that we're going to do in class, but because of our time and I know it's like past 6 now, depending on the country we are training from, but it's over 1 hour mark and we don't want to take much of your time, but this is pretty much what your basic dashboard will look like. And then imagine we started from having that rough data set into creating pivot tables and of course pivot charts. And we are able to connect all of them together into one place. And we're also able to connect them together using slicers such that it's dynamic. And let's take, for instance, we bring in more data sets because this only shows for 2017 to 2019. So let's take, for example, we bring in 2020, which wasn't there before. Let's see what happens. So this is 2020. Let's call it January. And then we so Budweiser. Let's also bring in a new distributor. Let's also call this one November Masterclass Limited. Make it also interesting in a country that wasn't there before. Let's say Zambia. And then we sold 500 quantities, cost price 400,000, sales price to be 900,000. So now we have profit of 500,000. So guys, if we go back to all of these question, remember that this company wasn't there before. This November Masterclass Limited, the distributor. But if you come here to refresh your pivot table, see what happens. So refresh. It's not showing yet. So let us refresh out. So we should be able to see our. Let me check something. So we have November Masterclass coming through, and it's here already. So it's strange that it's not showing yet. Let me refresh again. And let me check our data source. So because we added a new, I think somebody's mic is on.
Yeah, Dapo. I think because we defined the table, so it may not pick it.
No, it's fine because the new data set is also part of the table. You can see where the table is, what's it called? Where the table is covering. So if you can see this border green and white, it's also covering Budweiser November Masterclass Limited. So it should be fine. Let me refresh again. That's strange. Let's check the other ones. We didn't have Seneca before, Summit before, right? So let's refresh. Okay, so this is all of them not updating with our new data set. Okay, so 2020 is showing here now. So 2020 is showing for the years. 2020 wasn't there before, so I'm surprised. Oh, guys, Zambia is showing. Okay, I think it's probably because we have some filters on in our what's it called, dashboard. That's why. But when I unfiltered the years now, everything is showing. So perfect. So now 2020 is showing now automatically. Zambia 2 is also showing. Remember, Masterclass is also showing. And of course, did we put in a new drink? No, still Budweiser. And now you can see 2020 showing here now. You can also see Zambia showing as part of the countries. So we did not need to manually, do anything else. Everything was updated by themselves. Immediately we brought in 2020 data sets. If we bring in 2021, let's say 2021, July. Let's bring in another drink entirely, Pepsi, distributor, laptop limited, a new country, Zimbabwe. Let's say 800,000, 1 million. If you come here to refresh, you can see laptop limited showing straight up. Or you just refresh. Okay, you can even see Zimbabwe also showing automatically. 2021 is already showing. Pepsi is already showing. And as part of our drink here, Pepsi is already here as well. Pepsi is also already here. So guys, that's the beauty of, dashboard, beauty of you connecting your data sets together, everything updates by themselves, and you don't necessarily have to spend more time manually doing all of these things. So thank you guys for your time. It's been an interesting 1 hour plus. So I'm happy to take any of your questions at this point in time. So if there's any question, please feel free to raise your hand or drop your chats.
Hi, Dapo.
Hello.
I wanted to ask there when you were trying to when you okay, thank you for the lecture. So when you
Thank
try
you.
to sort, I think the most consumed brand across the world, you sorted. So I saw something like reverse. That I raised my hand then, but I think you
Oh,
said
okay.
class.
Yeah, reverse
Yeah,
categorizing reverse order.
yes. I wasn't paying attention that time. I just heard Brooklyn. I just wanted to see where you got it from.
So just click on the axis, format axis, and then scroll down. You will see categorize in reverse order.
Oh,
So
all
I think
right.
this is categories, yeah, categories in reverse order, and then it flips it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I don't know if there's any other question, but Tayo, if you are still on the call, happy to hand over to you.
Yeah, sure. I'm on the call and I'm home now.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And thank you for a very, very insightful session. Um and thank you. I was following through all the way. I think Rita was the most active person in class, and followed by Jalil because she was answering your questions head to bottom. Thank you so much, guys. Do we have any question for Oladapo? Any question? Okay. If we do not have a question, um, we want to say thank you to you, Dapo, and
Thank you for
I'll
having
just
me.
quickly thank you so much. I'll just quickly take it over from here. Can you all see my screen, please?
Yes, Tayo.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So thank you so much. This series that we just had is a part of a series that would be running through till January 2024. So we're opening another cohort of data school in January, third week of January to be precise. And it's going to majorly be on Power BI and Microsoft Excel. So in this November, we have one more class to go on Microsoft Excel, and throughout December and in January, we're going to still have free master classes on Power BI. So make sure to be on the lookout for it. And to quickly touch on the data school that is coming in January. We're going to be doing it's a two month class that is 8 long weekends. Hope it's not so long. 8 weekends where we're going to look at data analytics in depth, and we'll be using Microsoft Excel and Power BI to be able to perform a lot of analysis operation. And also we're going to work a lot of more around problem solving. And yes, to cap it up, we're going to be having a CPD accredited certificate at the end of the program, as long as you complete the program, complete your project work. Right. So we have an early bird pricing of 830,000, and that is closing in December 13th to be precise. And after that, it reverts to 150,000 naira for the people who are not in Nigeria and who would also still like to be a part of it. These are the corresponding prices for for the other currencies, $850, £140, and for the early bird pricing, we have $130 and £120. So please, if you also there's also room for to pay in installments if you'd like to pay in installment, or you're not sure if this is for you, you still have so many questions you'd like to ask. Please feel free to reach out at Africa, or you could just go onto the website techlitics.ng/data score. Adenike or Abiodun, please help me drop the link in the chat room so people can visit the website and pick the exact details. And if it is a consultation you'd like to book, we also have a button to be able to book a free 15-minute consultation call on the website. So please feel free. It's a no judgment zone. We all at one point or the other want to become better, improve our skills, or change the path of our career. So yes, I'd like to say thank you. As it is customary of us at Techlytics, we really do not want to take a lot of time on the call. If we say it is 1 hour 30, it is 1 hour 30. We say it's 1 hour, it is 1 hour. So thank you so much for joining the call today. I think somebody is either raising their hand or asking the question in the chat room. So yes, thank you everyone. Okay, that wasn't for me. Thank you everyone. Are there any other question before we bring the class to a close, or before we bring the class to a close? Any other question, comments? Is that a question? Rita, please go for it.
Hi, Tayo. Hello,
Hi,
Mr. Dapo. Thank you for the class. So I have a question. You
please go.
answered the questions like question one, question two on different sheets. Can you answer these questions on the same sheet, or you have to like create another sheet to like answer the questions? That's my question.
All right, thank you, Rita. Dapo, do you want to take that? Did you get a question?
Yes, I did. Yeah, pretty much you can answer all of the question on the same sheet, but because of your organization, you want everything to be arranged pretty much well. You don't want to mix up your information, your data sets, your visuals. It's just best you separate them. But if you are so good that you can always arrange everything on the same page, then please go for it and there is no restriction. But I think based on my own preference, I just like to separate everything on different pages so that I know where to go to when I'm looking for something. So I hope that answers your
Thank you,
question.
sir. Thank you.
That part is fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dapo, and thank you so much, Rita. So thank you, everyone. If there are no more questions, I'll be happy to close the meeting right now. Thank you so much. The other session would broadcast or would announce the other session or the other date and time for the other Microsoft Excel class before we jump into the Power BI classes in December. And we'll broadcast that to everybody at the appropriate time. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening and weekend.
All right, thank you, Tayo, on that one.
Thank you, Jalil. Adebola, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Adebola, you can stop recording. I don't know which one